In a world where car manufacturers have completely lost their mind when it comes to pricing, one brand has not escaped that route, and that brand is Ford. When the latest Mustang has been announced, which is the Dark Horse SC, base price at $108,000 and prices that go up to $170,000, with the GTD, the flagship model, starting at $325,000. We are in GT3 RS and Ferrari money. And even with Mustangs like the RTR Spec 5 that starts around $160,000, Mustangs have turned into luxury item when they used to be cars that you could buy for 30 grand that your uncle used to drive, and they kind of still are, but somehow the higher models have become quite literally untouchable. And in the middle of this, one car kind of stands apart. Back then, it used to be expensive. Now, it seems like a bargain. And today, we're gonna see if it actually is. This is the 2021 GT500.
The first thing I met was a fly with a buzz and the sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry, but the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert, you can remember your name, because there ain't no one for to give you no pain.
Let's talk spec for a second. This car has 760 horsepower, hand-built engine, 5.2-liter supercharged V8, carbon wheels, carbon splitter, carbon trim on the interior. This car is a true beast on its own. The crazy part with this car is that back in 2020, the base price was around $74,000 to $80,000, up to $100,000 depending on the options you took. And back then, everyone was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck would pay $70,000 for a Mustang? Even though $70,000 seems a lot, honestly, with today's Mustangs market, seems like a pretty good deal. Okay, class, let's do a deep dive on what Mustang and Ford are doing with the Mustang right now, because it's very important to put context on what is going on. So at the very top, you have the GTD, $325,000 base price. Carbon fiber body panels, even though it's heavy shit. Transaxle in the rear, push rod suspensions, active aerodynamics, DRS like in Formula 1 and all that stuff. And to finish it all, 815 horsepower from a 5.2-liter supercharged V8. Not too bad. Which sounds great until you realize that this engine is the same engine as the GTD. They're both 5.2-liter supercharged V8. So you're basically paying $150,000 more for a transaxle and a bit of carbon fiber, which means either of two things. Either it's the best engineering in the world, or it's the most expensive carbon fiber in the world. You know what's even crazier? I'm assuming you know it, but Mustang and Ford recently broke the record at the Nürburgring with the 6 minute 40 second and something, which is pretty crazy, isn't it? It was on slicks, and there was a bunch of other factors that didn't really fully make it all that, but it is all that though. It is pretty crazy because the Manti Kit GT3 is a little bit slower, but who fucking cares, because none of y'all are gonna take a GTD to the track anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. I will say though, pretty cool to have an American car that fast around the Nürburgring, and also the 01X, and it's, you know, represent a little bit. It's nice, but I don't think it justifies in any way, shape, or form a $300,000 Mustang. I love the GTD. But let's keep going, because it's not finished. Ford just announced recently a new Dark Horse SC. Phenomenal looking car. You don't know what the base price is? $108,000. $100,000. You know what's crazy? It's $144,000 with a track package. You know what you can get for that price? A GTR Pro AMG, a GT3. You're starting to get close to a couple of like Ferraris, you know, like Ferraris, Lamborghinis, you know, you can get Gallardos for that price. What are we doing right now? It's a Mustang. You know, it's still a Mustang. You know what's crazy? It's not done. What's a special edition package, whatever the name is? $175,000. Not rupees, dollars, US, the green money. Yeah. Anyways, has a 5.2-liter supercharge. Like we said, this car has 760 horsepower. The new Dark Horse SE is gonna have 790 horsepower, and it's $34,000 more expensive base price. So you're paying $34,000 for 30 extra horsepower. Does that sound worth it to you? If we do the math, that's about $1,133 per horsepower. Extra, of course. And then it's not even done, because drifters are like, wait, there's a lot of money to make with Mustangs. Let's make one. RTR Spec 5, 160K. Bam! Your fuck ass face. You didn't see that one coming, huh? Von Getting Jr. is getting real spicy with this. 160K for a Whipple supercharger added with a white body kit Mustang, which is cool. Like, it genuinely is cool, don't get me wrong. But 160K for a Mustang with a body kit and a Whipple supercharger is never a sentence I would put together 5 years ago. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, might as well. I mean, you see singers selling for $3 million and everything, so you're like, might as well. I mean, like, people are buying this shit. And I love Mustangs. I've really grown to like Mustangs recently, but like, there's an epidemic of overpriced Mustangs right now going on. That is, we need to fix this. Okay, let's talk outside, because this car makes it true intention even before opening the door or even before starting the car on. This car just looks so aggressive. One thing you'll realize, there is no Ford logos anywhere. They are just Shelby logos all across the car, which intend that this car truly means business. And it does. Look at this front end. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like this when it first came out, but with time I truly grew to just like the way the car looks. I mean, look at it. It looks so menacing, and especially with that carbon pack, the carbon wheel, this car just looks phenomenal. Also, the vents, all of these are functional because you want a way to cool off this 760 horsepower monster of a V8, which is, by the way, also helped by this, the little vents, actually not really little, that also are functional. And honestly, I think one of the coolest feature, hood pins from factory. This is from factory, isn't it sick? And in the back, the carbon trim package gets you this really big carbon wing that honestly, well, yeah, I was about to say it really like means, you know, it means business, but in today's world, it's like, it's a tiny wing. It's a GT4 wing. It's like with the fucking 3RS and the wing out. And all the fucking GTDs and everything, it makes this wing look small, but it truly is a really pretty wing, specifically from a factory car. I mean, a factory Mustang, dude. We're talking Mustang before the GTD and all this bullshit was a thing. This was truly a special car to look at. Another thing I'd like to point out about this really cool back end is that these tips are factory. I actually was very surprised to learn that these were factory. I really thought these were not stock, but they are. So very cool. Big ass Shelby badge. That really tells you all you need to know about this fucking car. I love this thing. It's super cool. I mean, look at this. These are real. They're big. They look aftermarket. Like, isn't this sick from factory? That's some real American shit right there. That's why we love America. Quick history lesson. Cara Shelby. It's gonna be really quick, so buckle up. GT500 actually means something. It's a very important name. First of all, who is Cara Shelby? He's Texan. He likes chicken because he was in a farm with him, and he beat Ferrari. He beat Ferrari driving in Le Mans, which is like really insane. He won constructor and driver against Ferrari. So if you haven't seen, there's a movie actually about this, which is Ford versus Ferrari. Great movie. I would suggest you go see it. It's also a guy who used to race with nitroglycerin under his tongue because of a heart condition. And fun fact, he also stole a plane to deliver a love letter. In 1967, he stuffed a Le Mans winning V8 into a Mustang. Guessing you know what that car is called. You're right, the GT350, kidding, the GT500. And then the name disappeared for a decade because we're like, we made a great car, so why not just not make another one? And they waited until 07 to make another one. And yeah, in 2007, there was a new GT500, which is also a car notoriously known to be super safe, especially leaving car shows. And then each year and each generation, they got progressively bigger, heavier, and especially more powerful and more expensive, but more powerful. And in 2020, Ford was like, wait, 662 horsepower is just not enough. So they were like, 760 it is. Most powerful Ford ever made. More powerful than all their supercars, Ford GTs and all this. I mean, that's actually the only one. But yeah, 760, which is nuts. And now they're at 800 plus, which is even crazier. But back in 2020, this was a really, really, really crazy number. Carl passed away in 2012. But you know what? I think Carol would have looked at this and be like, hell yeah, this is sick. Let's now talk interiors. And honestly, I will be very honest, this does not feel like $100,000 interior. I mean, for $70,000, I think this feels pretty right, which is what the price started at. But with the carbon package and all this stuff, you quickly go up to $100,000. Honestly, just does not feel worth all that. However, the good, this carbon trim is honestly really pretty and it's stock. The paddles feel great. I really like this steering wheel. I think it's a good looking steering wheel. Alcantara is aging like Alcantara. It's also pretty big, but I like it. This center console, it's not the greatest looking thing, but I mean, you know, it's American. But honestly, in my opinion, the best part of this interior are the seats. The Recaro seats are genuinely beautiful. They hold you so well. They're so comfortable. The sitting position is honestly so good. And one thing that I absolutely love is this big bonnet that you see, because it's like, in order to fit a big supercharger that fits on a Shelby that makes 760 horsepower, you gotta have a pretty big hood. This is sick. I like this a lot, honestly. But everything else is, you have a lot of leather, which I will say is nice, but it feels like Raptor-esque. It feels American, you know, it doesn't feel refined at all, but I feel like it also fits the character of this car. This car is not a refined car at all. However, this puts you in perspective that now you can pick these up for 80K, 90K, used 70 for some of them with not the carbon package. A Mustang GTD is $300,000, $325 actually, and some of them are above $500,000 with options. And the interior of a Mustang GTD does not feel far from that at all. And crazy that we had to complain that this doesn't feel like $100,000 interior. So now imagine how you feel inside of a GTD. It really is my biggest grip with the GTD. I'm a big fan of the GTD. However, I just don't understand why the interior, they didn't go crazy on this. Because in a car like this, I mean, it makes sense, you know? It's only $100,000, but it's not supposed to be the top dog, the top of the line. You know, this is like an M3 CS. This isn't the top dog. But I will say, this interior feels good, it looks good, and everything works. Everything is accessible, easy to use, easy to understand. It's very basic, it's American. That's really all you need to have into a car. I don't really ask for more. And one thing I will say for modern interior, for 2020-ish interior, I like that the screen is small. I don't like big screen. I like this digital cluster thing. I love the little clocks. I think they look great. I think it's a good looking interior, and I am a big fan of interiors that kind of look old because, in my opinion, they age better. I mean, this isn't all gonna age all that great with all the plastic, but don't think it's gonna age as bad as the new ones with the big ass screen over there. I honestly think this one is gonna age much better, and I think, in my opinion, it looks much better. I don't know what you think. This is what I think. Also, it has a Bang & Olufsen sound system. That's pretty nice. And it has no back seats, so there you go. That kind of makes you actually quite a lot of space. You could really take this car on a road trip, like easily. This car has a lot of space in the back. This is a good road trip car. It makes me think of the ZL1 in terms of practicality and everything, with just a lot more visibility. I like this car. It's nice. So what is the answer? How does this car compare to the big sister? The RTR that has maybe a little more theater, the GTD that is, yes, a lot faster on track, hopefully. The Dark Horse SC that has become bigger and louder and more expensive and 30 more horsepower faster. How does this car compare? You know what? My honest opinion is that I think in 2020, when this car came out, I was like, I think this car is just too much horsepower, too big, too much. My favorite truly was the GT350. I still consider the GT350 one of the greatest cars of all time. Driver's cars. However, with the time, I think this car is starting to make more and more sense as it ages. In 2020, I didn't think this car made a lot of sense, but now I think this car makes complete sense. It's still as much horsepower as all the competitors, hand-built engine by Shelby. The Recaro seats, the sound, the shifts are so crisp. You have the same transmission and engine as the GTD for $150,000 less. I think it looks phenomenal, especially in stock. This is a car that's stock, nothing done to it. Name me another American car stock that looks as good for the price. The ZL1 would be one of the only one that comes close to this car, because the others just don't look as aggressive as this car does. And one of my main thing, and one of the things I really like the most about this car is the analog feel to it. It looks, feels, drives, sound. This car feels like it is 15 years old, but it is from 2020. And I honestly find that the most impressive, because as all the newer cars got bigger, more tech, more electrical things, more problems, more regulations, and I honestly don't think the new one look as good. They look too big, they look too much. I think this one was truly, the GT350 and this car are honestly, I think, peak Mustangs. I think these are the best Mustang ever made. Just like that 991 generation of GT3s is that really sweet spot of modern enough, but still analog enough. I think this car will go down in history as the best Mustang. I think this car will honestly go up in value, even though I hate to say that. I think it will, because I think it's just the perfect blend of old and new all together for that perfect pack, that perfect mix. So if you are looking to get into one, I would honestly suggest that you really do, because these cars are fucking cool. I like that car a lot.
The GT500 didn't become a deal because it got cheaper. It became a deal because it stayed the same while the world around it lost its mind. And in a world of $300,000 Mustangs, staying the same might be the most radical thing you can do.
And for in conclusion, I will say this isn't the fastest, the most expensive, the wildest, all of this, but it truly, I think, is the best one.